Hello and welcome to the Million Dollar Message. This is your Fearless Friday message with Callie DeBlander Brigham calling from beautiful Pensacola Beach, Florida. Have you heard the big news? We are headed to the Queen City for seminar. Yes! How exciting is this? And I just have to say, I am so impressed with Mary Kay and all of those that had to be involved in, at the last minute, trying to secure a location. And keep in mind, you guys, not just a location, but a location that would have adequate housing, transportation. I mean, think about all the little things that go into a seminar. And they had to do that on the fly. And our event staff, they plan these things years ahead of time. So can you imagine, I'm sure you've heard the background by now, right? Can you imagine knowing that we had 1 year left at the Dallas Convention Center and starting to make the plans for 2026, I guess? Yeah, 2026. And then only to find out that the city of Dallas is going to tear down the convention center early. I mean, why they couldn't wait a couple more weeks, I don't know. But, hey, we're going to look at it as God's favor on us, for sure. And then having to scramble and find a city and a location that is also large enough, has enough airports. I mean, airlines or whatever, the whole deal. And so I could not be more excited. I have a feeling this is going to be a whole new experience, and I am here for it. So, Ruby and Diamond, I'm Ruby. Cannot wait to be at seminar together. And then Sapphire and Emerald, you're all going to have such a great time. So start to make your plans now. Make sure that you've carved that time off. Get time off from work. Get 2 or 3 or 4 backup sitters if you need them. And let's set aside some money every month for the next few months so that you can pay cash for a seminar. Okay, well, what I wanted to talk to you about today, since this is my last conversation with you before Thanksgiving and in November, is on my podcast this week, I had none other than National Sales Director Jamie Taylor. And I had seen something in Jamie's stories that on Instagram that she had seen somewhere as well. And the whole idea was a concept called Polish the Present. And it was really about taking notice in the little things and almost making your own life the center of your own world. I know that sounds silly, but so often we are so busy, so distracted, so routined that we either let little moments slip by us or we don't make those little moments sacred moments. So in that conversation that Jamie and I had, we talk mostly about your personal life. Well, I wanted to talk to all of you about how do we polish the present in our professional life, a.k.a. our Mary Kay business. What would that look like this next week? If you took the mundane, small, little moments that you normally have in your Mary Kay business, and what if you just made them feel special? You know, there's one thing that I do every year that I have loved. I've done it for years and years and years and years, and I love it. And this year, instead of rushing through it, I think I'm going to spread it out over a couple of days, and I'm going to make it really, really something that, excuse me, you guys, really something that I've been up a long time this morning because I have my Pink Friday sale, and mine starts at 1 in the morning. So I'm not up all night, but I do get up a few times just to make sure nobody's having any problems. Okay, so back to this. But one of the things that I do, and I think I've shared this before, is I text all of my customers a couple days before Thanksgiving. I used to do it the night before, but then we always had company and it was crazy. So I usually do it 2 nights before, but you could do it whenever. And, of course, I just thank them and I tell them that I'm grateful for them. And then I send them a Mary Kay recipe. You can just Google them or Facebook search for them. I've sent the sugar cookies for jalapeno cornbread dressing, just a different Mary Kay recipe. And then I ask them, what are they cooking or what are they most looking forward to eating? And I tell you what, I have gotten some fantastic recipes from my customers I also do this with my team too. And so the reason I say I think I might break it up and split it up is, if you're sending out 100, 200, 300, 400 messages at a time, sometimes they just come flying back in. And yes, you respond, but it might be like, oh my goodness, I got to check this off my list. But I thought, what if I spread it out and I maybe just do a few in the morning and then a few more in the afternoon and a few more later. And then I can really think about that person and appreciate that person and send back a really personal, thoughtful response to them. That would be polishing the present. Polishing the present also is doing something that, like I said, is routine, but adding a flair to it. So maybe it is sitting outside in the sunlight if you are in a place that doesn't have a snowstorm, like I saw in Cleveland last night. Maybe it is heading to a coffee shop and doing some of your work there. Maybe it is getting dressed up and looking your absolute cutest while you go on your deliveries and maybe putting a Santa hat on or something like that. Maybe it is when you're making your booking calls, maybe there's just something extra that you're saying or offering, or maybe it's the environment in which you're doing it, or maybe it's the reward that you're giving yourself while you're doing it, something fun to sip on in a pretty glass. And then maybe it's also sharing it with the world, So it's noticing the little things. Maybe you have a mascara order that comes in, and normally you would just be like, okay, it's a mascara order. But maybe you think about what it took for that customer to take the time to get on your website and to be loyal to you and to place that order. And maybe you sent her a really lovely handwritten note with a few extra bonus samples than something you would normally do. So my thought for you in this, as we're going into this week of gratefulness, because we're grateful for so many things, is that we extend an extra feeling and action of gratefulness to our business, where we polish the present. Now, you may have seen in my stories a lot of people sending pictures of how they're polishing the present, and I've been sharing them in my stories. I would love to do the same thing with your Mary Kay business. So something that you do these next few days that just takes the normal and makes it feel extraordinary. I can't wait to see all the things that you do. Have a blessed weekend, and those of you working your pink weekend, your Pink Friday, may the odds be ever in your favor, and may God bless you and the work of your hands. And I am extra uber thankful and grateful for you, and I will talk to you in December.